Whistleblower text messages and former Texas Rangers testimony dominated day 4 of suspended Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment trial. Paxton was again not present in the courtroom where his attorneys attempted to tear down previous testimony. Fox 4 Sean Rabb in studio with more. Sean.
And Steve, those whistleblower text messages in a group chat days after going to the FBI about Paxton. That former Texas Ranger who was over the AG's law enforcement division compared Nate Paul, the developer and Paxton donor at the heart of this political trial, with Billy Saul Estes. He was convicted of perhaps the most sprawling fraud scheme in history.
I told him that Nate Paul was a criminal. He was running a Ponzi scheme that would rival Billy Saul Estes, and that if he didn't get away from this individual and stop doing what he was doing, he was going to get himself indicted.
Former Texas Ranger David Maxwell, who was the Attorney General's law enforcement director, testified what he told Ken Paxton about Nate Paul after his first meeting with Paul. A meeting he was told to have by Jeff Mateer, who testified Tuesday. Maxwell had 2 meetings with Paul and his attorneys that were recorded, and a third meeting that included Paxton, not recorded at Paxton's insistence. Paul, Maxwell said, was angry, pressing for the AG's office to investigate DPS troopers, FBI agents, and a federal judge in connection with search warrants at his businesses and home.
And I told him that all you're doing is using the power and the prestige of this office for your own purpose, and I'm not going to allow that.
Maxwell says after that meeting, Paxton never spoke to him again. 2 months later, he was placed on leave. A month after that, he was fired.
You are insulting your colleagues on this group chat among friends. True?
I wouldn't describe it as insulting.
Text talk between the whistleblowers after they went to the FBI, also part of day 4 testimony. Joking about Ken Paxton and other staff in the AG's office not being smart. Ryan Vassar, who testified through tears Thursday at being called a rogue employee, posting a link in the chat to a coloring book, suggesting new staff needed something to entertain them.
It was a joke.
I believe earlier your testimony was that being called a rogue employee was very upsetting to you, right?
Yes, sir.
But this is how you talk about your coworkers. True?
Again, it was lighthearted. It was among friends. It was not made public to millions of people.
Lawyer Little tearing at previous testimony that Nate Paul's issues overwhelmed the Attorney General's office.
How many lawyers are there roughly at the Office of the Attorney General?
Roughly 800 lawyers.
How many of them ever touched anything related to Nate Paul? How many of the 800 ever touched anything related to Nate Paul?
I could speculate there may have been 15 lawyers, maybe 15 to 20.
With 20,000 active cases at any given time.
And how many of those 20,000 cases involve Nate Paul?
I would have no direct knowledge of how many of those cases would.
The cross moving to the so-called August 2nd midnight order that restricted the number attending foreclosure sales. Nate Paul had 13 properties set to be sold August 4th, 2020. Little pressed on whether it was just one of many COVID guidances being released almost daily.
Orders similar to this that were giving informal legal guidance about COVID matters were coming out of your office almost every day. True?
I'm not sure if it was daily, but we were providing advice on a regular basis.
Now, each side has been given a total of 27 hours to present their case, and we are more or less halfway through that allotted time. Testimonies ended for now, resumes Monday at 9 a.m.